Over the 20-year history of the Battlefield franchise, there have been many great maps worthy of praise. Some maps become legendary, icons themselves of the Battlefield series and worth remembering for their balance, uniqueness, and special gameplay. This is the story of the best maps of Battlefield. Even after I had completed my original map review of Battlefield 3's Grand Bazaar, the passing mention of Battlefield Hardline's Chinatown remake did not sit well with me. It deserves far more respect and accolades than the original, and now with Grand Bazaar recently taking its proper spot in my mid-tier category, Chinatown can now take its rightful place in the best maps of Battlefield where it belongs. Chinatown is amazing. After so many years of players fighting on a 10 Hz explosive spammed base camped mess like Grand Bazaar, the fact that 5 years later it would not only be remastered, but rethemed and substantially improved in every way is almost a miracle. Announced and released as part of Hardline's final DLC, Chinatown utilized the original engine assets of its predecessor to reconstruct the level with accurate scale and resemblance. The most noticeable change is obviously the drastic retheming, going from the original setting of an Iranian market to a downtown LA Chinatown taking place entirely at night. This also makes it one of the very few instances in the entire Battlefield series where a returning map had a completely redesigned environment. In the past, remastered levels frequently benefited from an upgraded game engine with added details, like Dragon Valley or Gulf of Oman. But most of the time major changes to the layout have been avoided. In all previous remaster instances, only Wake Island and Karkan's 2142 iterations are comparable in their environmental differences, and yet they don't even come close to what Chinatown went through. Here, significant changes addressed the major issues that Grand Bazaar had, like its horrendous main base design, empty spaces on streets, or concerns with flag positioning. No other Battlefield map remake, not Caspian Border or Operation Metro and BF4, not Sharkey Peninsula, not even Wake Island, has taken to addressing the inherent flaws of its original implementation to such a degree while still maintaining its original recognizable form. Chinatown began by removing the IFEs, not being present in Hardline anyway, eliminating that major nuisance and left it an infantry-dominated zone, only providing a few unarmed light vehicles per side. It added much more cover along the streets, allowing players to flank the outside routes more effectively. More alcoves and storefronts became accessible, filled with new assets for greater realism and detail, and offering greater opportunities to quickly duck and hide behind countertops and materials. Certain high ground verticality options were reduced, such as eliminating the one opposite the A objective, which formerly offered sightlines down the entire road, while the 2-story roof above the C point was limited to 1 floor and now had a ladder instead of stairs. In Conquest Large, the Delta flag, previously located by a bus in Grand Bazaar's northeast corner, was moved across to the nearby square. Here, it offers much more protection, better access from multiple streets and alleys, easier flow from other objectives, and is more distinct with its unique lighting and stores nearby. The Echo flag was also moved, this time from underneath the bridge to inside the corner store, once again providing a much more intense, detailed space. Most impactfully, and by far the most critical, was a redesign for the team's main deployments, no longer locking each in a small corner of the level. They both extend further down a back alley, now inaccessible to the enemy team, blocked by large buildings, and with multiple paths providing exits allowing for good breakout potential. These back streets also double as largely protected spawn points for the D and E flags when held by their respective faction. The center alley, known for its meat grinder gameplay and explosive spam potential, remains intact with minor structural alterations, mostly being limited to the new restaurant entrance on the B point and shop stalls within the back courtyards. It also received significantly more detail, with strings of lights, lanterns, and numerous neon signs, as well as themed shops including a fireworks stall, which was always a fun spectacle to watch. On each entrance to the alley from the A and C points, a light switch can be interacted with continuously. This toggles all the lights and neon signs within, leaving it illuminated only by the glow of orange lanterns. However, these are easily destroyed, effectively making it pitch black and perfect for IR scopes and sneaky players. Although taking place at night, the entire map is exceptionally well lit, offering just enough lighting to identify major landmarks and streets, as well as enemies moving through the dimmer areas. Even so, it is dark enough so that players can plan quick ambushes and capitalize on the environment in a meaningful way. Credit must also be given to the game's development team and an engineer in particular, who, as stated in their video blog about the map, gave the game screen space reflection. This feature wasn't utilized in most other Hardline multiplayer maps, but was used to great effect in Chinatown to provide excellent visuals and reflections from the wet weather, neon signs, and strings of lights, all of which contribute to the gorgeous and unique setting. All of these changes combine to do something extraordinary. It vastly improves on the original map's design, solving its major issues while maintaining the very best of what made it special in the first place. And it does so while providing a wholly fresh experience. No other map in the Battlefield series has undergone such a dramatic redesign, remaster, or retheme with such incredible results. In that, Chinatown is the perfect example of how map remakes should be handled in future Battlefield games, taking beloved layouts, addressing their fundamental issues, and giving players something new at the same time. Gameplay-wise, the map plays much the same way as its predecessor, obviously just without the baggage. The run-and-gun mentality is still high, flanking for multi-kills is still wonderful, and the explosive spam? Yeah, it's here too, but mitigated thanks to the game's improved mechanics. But on top of all of this, it is important to remember the other advantages. You are not playing on 10Hz servers anymore. With Hardline, it was commonly up to 60, and with the vastly improved movement, more responsive gunplay, and better cover all around, the experience was more gratifying in every way. Almost every way. Hardline still had a door blocking problem. Small in scale, its applicable game modes were still numerous. You had the lesser played ones, and then you had the biggies. Heist, TDM, Bounty Hunter, Blood Money with the money pile in the center alley, and Conquest with its 3 and 5 flag variations. Each provided a distinct experience, further driven by a layout which served it better than many other small-scale Hardline maps where no matter the mode, it felt like TDM. This is just more evidence that Chinatown was the perfect fit for the game. Finally, within the new theme, the multiple and detailed storefronts created a vast opportunity to hide Easter eggs, including references to the movie Gremlins, the Dead Space franchise, and Hardline's own voice actors. Chinatown also featured one of the game's more notable events, being the only method by which players could obtain the Mammoth Gun. This required them to complete the Big Game Hunter assignment, in which they would need to collect all 6 small mammoth skull statues hidden around the map, and then find the secret room containing the weapon. Difficult to do in a populated server, this was one of those Easter eggs that initially had players smashing pots, looking in every corner, and feeling like a Legend of Zelda puzzle. Still, the reward was a hefty gun, which when finally picked up, was permanently unlocked. Chinatown was something wholly unexpected and unprecedented in the Battlefield series. Simply being on it was simultaneously a nostalgia trip and something new. Such a redesign became a favorite for all the Hardline players who got to experience it, making it almost unfortunate that so many fans never had that chance at all, sticking to Battlefield 4 as they did. It had phenomenal map flow, and worked exceptionally well with all the main game modes. So completely decked out in Easter eggs, fireworks, decorations, and nighttime lighting, Chinatown was a spectacular remake improving on the original map design in grand fashion.